Hey, Gecko and Isopod fans, it's Wally from Supreme Gecko. And you know what? I don't think Nanette is here yet. Maybe she is. I've got the door a little bit cracked so I can hear her. I think maybe she's here. Not sure. Anyways, dinner is soon coming. And I hope everybody got their dinner ready too so that we could partake in dinner together because nobody wants to see Wally and maybe Nanette eating by themselves. So who's all here? J Bug, 503, 503. How's that gecko? Cassandra, thanks for jumping in. Frank, oh my gosh. Who else is here? Philippe, is it Philippe? Philip? Phil? Philippe? Who else? Just rolling through. This is Nanette's job. I shouldn't have to do this. Aunt Sandy is here. Thanks for jumping in. Um, and I think you all know why I'm doing this and not Nanette because she has school and Thursday night is her late night. So she works at school and then she has school at school. Okay, hi Angie. Is everybody now completely confused because her I think it's 4 to 6 hour is she's there with other students taking classes. She's taking 3 classes a semester and working full time and doing everything in the Gecko facility and keeping this household running and everything except making my dinner. Doggone it, where's my dinner? I tell you, she's slacking away here. Again, thank you everyone for joining in. We didn't have a lunch with Wally yesterday because I wanted to make this a little bit more informal. We're working through a lot of plans to have a lot of people here on the Thursday night lives. So if you don't know, we do a long form video, usually Tuesdays or Wednesdays, usually Tuesdays if I can, and then Thursday night is the live session. And this week it just felt more comfortable to do a little bit less formal Thursday night. We had some big time hitters the last 4 or 5 weeks in a row. And to be honest, I am just exhausted. Illinois, thanks for jumping in. Don, thank you very much for jumping in. I'm exhausted because we've had so much going on lately. And I know that I've said that over and over and over. Dab Exotics, thanks for jumping in. I don't know if that's Dylan or Brittany. Hopefully it's both. If it's Dylan, I'll make sure that I come over here and block you like Nanette does. Well, she does that, so I don't. I won't block you. So a lot going on. We have a huge show coming up Sunday. And I'm going to get into some cool topics in just a second here. But I want to tell you about this. We have the Rothschild. I always say that wrong. Rothschild show, which is upper northwest Wisconsin, kind of out in the boonies. It's out in the boonies. It's by Wausau, if anybody knows where Wausau is in Wisconsin. But I tell you what, these are some of the biggest shows I have ever been to, other than NARBC, of course, in Chicago. These are absolutely huge shows. And I give a lot of praise to Scaled Up Expos for putting on such a wonderful, wonderful show. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Crazy Bugs and Pods. This is going to be a good show. I've already got a bunch of good people in here. Thanks, everyone, for joining. So we've got a lot going on, and I kind of feel like I'm swimming at times. And the only thing that keeps me going is, anyone want to guess what keeps me going and organized and on task? If you're thinking spreadsheets, you're now wrong. For the last year and a half, and I've talked to a couple of people here about this, Illinois Valley Geckos, wish I could make it, but quite a drive for us. Yeah, it's about a day and a half drive for me too, up to Rothschild, Wisconsin. I'm at the southeast part of Wisconsin, southeast part, and I have to drive all the way up here to get to Rothschild, day and a half. Dylan or Brittany is in the chat, and that's the reason I'm saying that. I always joke around about it being, across time zones, and I have to pack a lunch and a dinner to get there. What keeps me organized? The one thing now in the last year and a half that keeps me organized. Wow. Maybe if we had ISO buddies here. No, I'm not going to. Maybe he would eat some. The one thing that keeps me organized now is a new product that I've just introduced the last couple of weeks. I haven't introduced it. It's an app out there. Anybody can grab it. But what I've done is I've been using an app called Notion. And it's taken me, I feel, at least it took me probably a month or so to get familiar with it. And I'm still learning every single day. I tell you what, folks, if you feel, and how many of you feel kind of like, you're not organized or you're not getting as much as you possibly could get done. I know at times I go through a process where I don't feel like I'm getting a whole lot done. And that just drives me kind of into a funk. And I feel like, oh, I haven't done anything so far. Why should I even start picking up any of this? The problem is that the more you think about that and the more and more and more it kind of drags on, the less you do and the more of a funk you get into. So J-Bug, right there with you. So sometimes I just feel like, oh, I didn't get it done yesterday. Why should I even try to get it done today? Well, I've used everything from, thanks, Frank. I've used everything from notepads to, you got to say it, Excel spreadsheets, Google Sheets, to Post-it notes, to, whiteboards to keep all the information straight, and my to-do lists and my notes and guests for the Supreme Gecko show and tips and techniques of doing things and animal care guides, everything just scattered all over the place. And I've shown this video to a couple of people, but tomorrow I'm going to publish a video that I did a couple of weeks ago introducing this product called Notion, or at least how I use it. And actually in Notion, I've created a whole separate template for reptile keepers, specific to reptile keepers. So if enough people are interested, enough people want to spend, a couple of minutes taking a look at it, I can jump over to my Notion screen and show you guys how I use Notion. Cassandra, right? If I don't write something down, it is gone. And this is such a fact. I'll talk to people at shows and I'll talk about, this or that. And I'll say, well, make sure that you message me after the show because I'll forget it, the second that we're done with this show. And absolutely, they'll message me and it will click. Oh, I have to send them information on this type of gecko, or send them a picture of my setup for, Period or a Picta, or send them a link for, one of the geckos that we work with, or live foods, how to breed mealworms, something like that. If I don't write it down, it's gone. If somebody doesn't send me an email as a reminder, it's gone. I don't know if Kara is in here, but Kara ordered from our store about a month and a half ago, paid for shipping, and then she drove down. I said, oh, let me, refund your shipping cost. That was a month and a half ago. I forgot. She said, hey, just a reminder. I was like, oh my gosh. So I refunded her shipping cost. Crystal, what is that? Did you make dinner tonight?
This is Grandma's.
That's Grandma's.
Grandma's.
Hey, Kara. And what?
Grandma is coming up with yours.
Oh my gosh. She made it especially for me?
No, it's from...
It's from what?
Culver's.
It's from Culver's? Tell everybody what you found this week.
Hey, Frank.
What did you find?
So.
Yes?
No, that's why I said don't say where it's from.
What?
Illinois Valley geckos.
It is. It's from Culver's. What did you find this week?
Can I just close the door?
You can close the door.
So.
Love covers. Yes.
So.
Stop reading the messages. Tell us what you found this week.
So
You're like
on
me.
Sunday, when we had Aubrey,
our granddaughter, our other granddaughter, one of our other granddaughters.
So I found a praying mantis.
A praying mantis? Like, did you go to a pet store to buy a praying mantis? Did you get one from Crazy Bugs? Because they have all kinds of great praying mantises.
No, I don't. I didn't.
Yeah? Where did you?
It was.
Where did you? Tell the story of how you found this praying mantis.
So Aubrey's window was down, and
in the house or where?
in the car.
In the car. Okay.
And then
Where were we?
we were in the car at the oil place.
Oil
Across
change
the-
place.
Away from, like, isn't it, like,
Just by
it's,
Starbucks.
like,
But what
across the
happened? How
street
did you
from-
find it?
from Pick and Save there? And then
Thank
it
you, Nanette.
flew in on my shoulder. And then it was on the, yeah, free pet. And I'm keeping him for a couple minutes.
Minutes? Or
No.
You're
and then
keeping it for
couple
just a
days.
couple more minutes.
Couple days.
Hi, Major. Yes, it is dinner time. No, we're not
Couple
having
days.
mantis, right?
No.
Did you feed your mantis dinner
Yes, I
like
did.
Culver's? Did you give it a
No.
McDonald's?
Thank you for bringing my dinner up.
Thank you, Crystal.
Yours is downstairs. You might want to go eat it while it's hot. Thank you, sweetie.
So this mantis landed on Aubrey's shoulder
No.
No,
and
On
mine.
Crystal's shoulder.
on your shoulder, and
And
Aubrey freaked
Aubrey-
out.
Aubrey. P.S. Aubrey jumped across half the back
She
seat.
did. She like launched herself across the back seat.
P.S.
Put the seatbelt
I thought you
on.
were going to say Aubrey peed herself or something. I don't know what. Oh my gosh, we have dinner.
We have dinner. You have a pork sandwich.
I have a pork, and you made this yourself, right?
Yeah, I just
Cool.
whipped it right up.
Well, I'm eating. Why don't you tell everybody what you've been doing the last couple days? With downstairs, converting our living room into a
Oh,
warehouse.
yeah, I have now converted my talking room, which is our dining room, as Crystal calls it, the talking room, because that's where we talk, I guess, into a warehouse. Literally, we have put baker's racks up against the wall, and I bought decorative bins, and we are now filling them all up to make it easier for shipping.
So two
all
bigger
these
racks
supplies.
and 12 shelving units, 12 shelves,
Total. And
Total.
I don't know how many containers are on there now.
758.
And it's rollable, so we can take it in and out of the dining room when we have company for Thanksgiving and Easter. So
Hi,
it'll
Kate.
work. Hopefully it'll look nice for a while.
What do you have? Waffles and fries?
No, I have leftover sloppy Joe, my favorite thing.
So we were.
I should
Plan-
have had waffles.
You
tonight.
should have. We were trying to plan, where we're going to put all the stuff. Downstairs is, how much room is there downstairs?
In the facility?
Yeah.
0.
0.
No space.
We've got the stairs. We could utilize some
No.
of the space. No,
No.
can't do that. So we have no space downstairs whatsoever. Obviously, my office is filling up quickly. Sloppy Joe's.
You're just taking over the whole house right now.
Isn't that an Adam Sandler song?
The
No,
whole-
that's a Chris Farley
The
song.
whole house is
Sloppy
now
Joe's.
geckos.
The whole house is geckos. I redid one of our tanks in the bedroom too. So we have no room, so we're slowly taking up family space now. So so we had the kitchen, the
You're not
family
touching my
room.
kitchen?
No, I'm saying we had the kitchen, the family room, the bathroom, the hallway, the foyer. We had the dining room and we had the living room. And then the dining room, we put the dining room table into the living room,
Formal living room.
and all the furniture left because this table is like 48 feet long. No, it's probably about 20. I don't know. Yeah, Cassandra, do you have one?
No, we don't need a bigger house
eBay?
because then he'll just keep going.
So the dining room table moved into the living room. So the living room is no longer the living room.
But we never
And-
used it as a living room. We always sat in the
Really
family room, so we
didn't.
never sat in the living
Never,
room.
ever. We didn't have a TV in there.
And I
So why
needed
would
a-
we even go in there?
I needed a playroom
Once
for my
a year.
kids.
Once a year
grandkids.
we would go in there. Anybody else have a living room that they really don't use? It's not really a living room.
Wasted space.
So what happened with our dining room? What did it become?
The dining room area became a playroom for our grandchildren. And now it is Crystal's desk is in there and some of her toys and a shipping center for Supreme Gecko.
That's funny. No room, so we're taking up family space as I eyed the bunny by the aquarium by the crested gecko tank in the living room. Right? It just happens. It's just like, gosh, have we always had that tank over by the bunny and the crested gecko? I can't remember a time when we haven't.
Yeah.
503 says that they have reptiles and inverts and fish in like all the rooms. Kara, yes, absolutely. I'm going to need a small house just for my wiggle butts soon.
The kids keep telling us to build out the back of the house.
Yeah. So we have a concrete slab, and we have
Patio.
It's a patio. It's a patio with lattice and stuff like that. And everybody says go convert all of that to another room. And for a while, it was kind of an interesting idea when the kids were growing up, because that could be their playroom and away from the family room where I sit and I watch TV all day. It's not that at all. So we thought about it, and the cost was just prohibitive. We converted the two attics, one over garage and one over the house, into storage areas, and that worked really well. But we never took that next step to convert the patio for some reason. Don't know why. But we kind of didn't expand too much until like the last couple of years with our animals. We had one big expansion. What was that? One big expansion downstairs where I had half the basement.
Oh, that was years ago.
What happened?
I stopped doing home-based daycare, and I left the basement. And within a week, you had it all mapped out and started to fill it with racks for geckos. So there was no option to use the basement for anything now.
So when you stopped,
And if that was there,
Mhm.
and the bathroom was still down there, the kitchenette was down there, that could have been a perfect apartment for Crystal and Jordan to live downstairs instead of upstairs.
that's one option. I'm just joking.
I know.
But
But then you could have had the whole second floor.
I've got my email up. It's making noises at me. It gets crazy. But I tell you what, when she had daycare down there, it was so fun to bring out the animals and show them to the kids. She stopped doing daycare, 10 years ago ish? About? More?
Wait. 6.
Cassandra, I'm already using the downstairs bathroom
Okay, I
as
think
my
I
bug
just
room.
filled down the front of my shirt. That was nice.
Well, you're probably tied because I probably already have two.
Yours was a
I
cold
tell you,
Pepsi going down your
503,
shirt.
our basement is just a godsend. What was the very first thing I said when we were looking at a house?
We had to have a basement.
You get upstairs. You get your call in upstairs. The basement is mine.
No, you didn't.
I
I
did.
said I needed the basement for my daycare business because I didn't want them in my home.
Yeah, but
wanted them
I got the
downstairs.
call in the basement. The
Yeah,
basement
whatever.
had to fit everything.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's just sit here and listen to Wally chomp and eat. And so when you stopped doing daycare, that same weekend I had
Oh, you
half
did?
of the daycare area, which is half of our house. So it's
Downstairs.
1,000 square feet. The
Uh-huh.
daycare area
Uh-huh.
is 1,000 square feet.
Mhm.
Right? No,
Mhm.
about 600. I'm sorry, about 700. So that was half filled the next day, or
Mhm.
that weekend, I
Mhm.
should say. And now it's 120% utilized.
And it had a
Wait, that
kitchenette
doesn't
in
add
it
up.
that is now a isopod area. It had a bathroom that is now a bug room.
There was a time when I almost made the transition for my job. I was with corporate with a food distribution company from Milwaukee to Omaha. Went out there. They took me out to dinner.
They wined and dined us.
Lots and lots and lots. And so, you need to make the decision. And the one thing that I didn't want to do was move the family. And I kind of felt bad moving the family away from, especially Nanette's family, who's all here in Wisconsin. But I had to make the decision for the career. Almost made it. In fact, we looked at houses.
We put an offer on a house.
We
We had
put
an
up-
accepted offer.
We put a bid, and I'm getting to the point of the story, folks. Bear with me. You know how I am.
Eventually.
So we put a bid in on a house, came back, contemplated for days and days, and I had to make a decision the following Monday. And I was at work late on a Friday night, and our CFO was there as well. And I sat down with Dennis. We were talking. I said, I'm really having a problem with this, Dennis. I don't know if I should move or not. kind of threw it out there like, Wally, you do what you want to do, and yeah, family is important. And he goes, don't move. Just as blunt as anything. I said, why not, Dennis? That's kind of shocking me that you would, be so forward with this information. And he said, well, I tell you what, Omaha is growing so fast. And remember, we have the other corporate office in Dallas, Texas. And I, no offense to anybody from Texas, but I just didn't want to move to Dallas. I didn't want to move twice. And he gave me the comment that they were building another floor they weren't building, they were moving out a couple of tenants from another floor at a floor and a half. And sure enough, within a month of me then informing my future boss I didn't want to move to Omaha, within a month and a half, they were already in the process of closing down the Omaha branch office and moving everybody to Dallas. It was the scariest thing in the world because it would have been terrible. So anyways,
back to
point of the story is when we were working, when we were looking at houses, Omaha, none of the houses have basements.
Mm-mm.
Hardly any, not many. I can't imagine that. My basement was owned by Al Capone, and it's terrifying and unfinished. That has to be a joke. Chicago.
He said his house.
Maybe. This is J-Bug.
Didn't he say the house?
That's interesting. I want to know more about that. That's kind of cool.
I wouldn't be taking down walls.
So you're saying you need two homes connected to each other, one for all the critters. Well, wouldn't that be like a facility, outside facility, like a warehouse? I almost said it like Family Guy. Wouldn't that be like a warehouse?
You need a duplex. You could
Nobody
have
will
one
get
half
that.
For you.
My husband moved here, Missouri, from Oregon a few years ago. He said the same thing. It was decided we had a bi-level home. We looked at several bi-levels.
We actually put a bid on a tri-level, right?
Was it a buy or a try? I don't know.
It was a tri.
It was like, we don't want to move there, and all the information was wiped away from the mind. It was just that quick.
Okay.
Capone owned my home back in the day. Wow, that's so crazy. That's outstanding.
Like I said, I wouldn't be doing
You're on our show
else.
next week talking about your Al Capone stories with your home. Where was I going with this?
I have no idea.
This is
Other than
crazy
the
stuff.
fact that
I just want to read the messages.
We were just adding on to our family room or our talking room.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time with this. We kind of talked about it. Where are we going with all of this? We don't know. It was a hard decision. That is crazy and interesting.
We can't have, I'm seeing that people have enclosures all over their houses too. We can't have them on my main level all over, or my family will not come and visit.
Yeah, your sisters don't like geckos.
They don't, no, they just get creeped out.
Talk for a while. I'm eating a French fry.
Okay. So we added in, I'm trying to think how many, I got those cloth bins, so it looks nice, and I got little labels I have to put on when I have free time, so I can figure out what's in each one without having to pull it off and look at it. I will be doing some of that next week because I'm not going to have any time this weekend for that.
Why not?
Well, we have a show this weekend, which I found a better path to get there, by the way.
Okay.
But
I got 4 hours and 40 minutes for my path.
No.
Better one?
2 hours and 47 minutes.
Not. You know what? No, I'm sorry. Gosh, what? I'm like, how did you just skim off 2 hours?
I don't know where you're going, but
I was going to Minnesota. I was looking at next month's show.
Oh, you're looking at October. No.
Yeah.
I know.
Sorry.
We have a show to get ready for.
Scared you there, didn't I?
Mm-hmm. And I have 2 huge assignments for school to finish by Sunday night still. Yes, it is only a couple
cut
time
off a whole
zones, Deb.
time zone. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I did. I figured it out today.
I'm really looking forward to the show. I put a post out on Facebook. I'm going to tell the story, and I threw a lot of pictures on there.
I'm eating your fries.
Yeah, go ahead. I was going to say I'm going to eat the remainder of your sloppy Joe. I ain't doing that.
No, I know you.
So I want to put a post on Facebook, put a lot of pictures in there, a lot of text, and it just did these, Hourglass, churning hourglass. Never ever posted after like 20 minutes. So I thought I've got to type that whole thing up again. So I typed it, but I hit the copy, added all the pictures, still didn't post. So I had to take a lot of the pictures off and only post a few pictures to get the post out for the Scaled Up Expo show coming up Sunday. I'm really looking forward to this show.
I'm glad. I am looking forward to it. It's just there's a lot going on.
We have 2 or 3 tables.
3.
Remember, three tables.
I added one.
We'll fill them up.
I hope. Right, Deb? I've got 3.
So I heard, J-Bug, that there's a safe, and Geraldo is coming to open the safe. Don't you remember that story? Wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm old. Hey, it's Jonas. I was like, Jonas.
That's how I feel at Jim's. We could use a whole nother house for the critters.
I can't imagine. Cannot imagine.
I don't ever want to move out of the house with all the critters. It just scares me.
Kiara is coming Sunday. That would be super cool. If you can make it, that would be cool.
Say hi.
So you're talking about moving. We moved when I was in the middle of the whole fish hobby. How many tanks we had? Like we had about, I'll speak for you. We had about 125.
Yeah, you had about 125
aquariums.
tanks.
And we decided that we wanted to move and sold everything in one weekend. One weekend, everything was gone. 125 tanks,
and the fish,
half horse blower, all the equipment, all the lights, all of the everything, and all the fish. We had some of the rarest fish. I tell you, we were importing from Germany, sending out to Germany. It was just crazy. I'm not trying to flex. I'm just saying it was a crazy time. And the problem was, and if you've heard the story before, I apologize, but the problem was that you had Tim. You were expecting you had Tim, and Tim was had gone through some health issues
at birth.
So I would literally come home from work, run downstairs, 125 tanks, and feed just as quick as I could, run back upstairs, change clothes, and go to the hospital. And you were already there. You were there for a long time. I remember you being at the hospital like a long time. So anyways, I've got a half-eaten fry here. I'm sitting looking at.
Waving at it.
Waving. So about that same time, Tim, health issues, and I came downstairs one day and I had 4 tanks of breeding discus, and I know 2 of them were dead. And then one of them were on its side, dead, and the other one was just kind of barely holding on. And then the other pair, which were alive, were just barely holding on. Water change. The problem was a month before I had brought in some little piscogrammas, put them in a tent, and unfortunately they came from the wild, and because we were so busy, long story here, folks, but here's the point. I had probably done a water change and not sterilized, not quarantined. They were in a tank by themselves, but I had not taken precautions to not transfer the hose, the python, from that tank to another tank, and I'm probably contaminated the whole room. It was
bad.
Oh my gosh, it was bad. So the discus were gone, and it was kind of earth-shaking to me. So we sold everything, Tropheus, Morai, just Du Boise, just everything. So anyways, on a happy note, it was a good transition, and it allowed me to focus more on my career and obviously the family. And that's what the most important thing was. Yeah, Illinois Valley geckos. We had feather
tons.
fins from Tanganyika. We had frontosa. We had, you name it. And obviously we had discus and lots of tanks, lots of tanks.
They called the guys, our friends in Chicago, and they came in and helped us clear and sell. And
I called a friend and said, "I'm done. Come over and get everything." He goes, "What do you mean you're done? What do you mean? I can't do it. I can't do all 3. I can't do the fish. I can't do the family and my career. I can't do it. I've got to drop around."
Traveling too.
I was traveling a lot. At least once every 4 weeks, I was gone for a week. So So Robin said, "No, you're not giving me everything." I said, "Robin, just come over and get it. I'm done. I don't want to go through this anymore. I don't want to go through the time. We lost our lights at 7:00."
Oh, wow.
So he said, "No, we're not going to do that. I'll come over. We'll price everything out. We'll contact some people in Chicago, and we will make sure that you can go through a weekend or two and get rid of the stuff." I said, no, if it can't be one weekend, I don't want to do it. And sure enough, we sold everything. We had people, here the whole Saturday was pretty much walking in, bagging up fish, and people, leaving with bags of fish. It was crazy.
It was
125 tanks,
insane.
killifish, wild live bearers.
And they weren't little tanks either. I mean, they ranged from little itty bitties to a couple 125-gallon tanks.
The biggest, or I shouldn't say the biggest, the majority, I shouldn't even say the majority. A lot of the tanks were 50 breeders, and it
40
was
breeders. They were huge.
yeah, kind of crazy.
It was wild.
Kind of crazy,
But,
but the good news is that I was able to focus. And the problem was that the internet was just kicking off back then. I think this was just right before the internet, and I can't imagine having fish and going through that initial period with using the internet for marketing and sales. That would have been crazy. People added bleach to Petco tanks. Why would people do that? Just doesn't make any sense. I sold my 125 not long ago. Had red shoulder silverworms. Oh, silverworms are super cool.
Frontosa in our big one.
I had the discus in the big one. I had
You had
frontosa in there
two.
for a while.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We had
That's
the
right.
2 tanks because we had the one on the back wall.
It is what it is, and it was a good time in our lives. We were heavily involved with the Milwaukee Aquarium Society. You were, if you weren't president, I was president, and then somebody else would be
Editor
president,
of the
and then we would
magazine,
shift off again. And
Printer, editor, we did
Fun
all kinds
times.
of stuff.
I want to show everybody something, and I want to make sure that this works.
Show everybody.
yeah.
something.
So we talked earlier. I want to hear from our viewers here, and what I want to hear is: do you guys struggle with organization? These emails. I've got to get my email.
You aren't
I've
going
got to
there.
stop my email from running right now, but I can't see because it's behind the camera. So if I shut it down, I'm probably shutting down the stream. Do you guys struggle with organization? I've used, how many years have I used spreadsheets for organization?
Forever.
Probably 30 years.
Probably since, never mind.
Yeah, probably 30 years. And every year I would start a new spreadsheet, and here's my to-do list, and big projects and tasks and subtasks. That's just what I did. Just what I did. When I retired, I pulled out my spreadsheet, and literally I went through it and said, okay, I'm going to do this first week, and this the second week, this the third week. I'm not going to work for a month while I think about, the next job. And within a couple of weeks, I was done with my spreadsheet for the most part. And it was like, I'm really having fun doing stuff like this. I'm really having fun catching up with some of these big projects. And that's the point that I just decided to retire 5 or 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I've used spreadsheets forever. So every year I would copy in the to-do list that wasn't done into a new spreadsheet and start working on that spreadsheet. And when something, I'm the type, and tell me if you're the same way. Are you the type that if you're keeping a checklist or you're keeping sticky notes and you do something big, you go to your sticky note and you write it down, or you go to your spreadsheet, or you go to your whiteboard and you write it down so that then you can go, okay, got that done. Just that feeling of accomplishment. Now, on the opposite side, do you have all these sticky notes sitting on your desk, or notebooks full of to-do lists or reminders, or worse, you have notebooks full of notes. I had notes and pictures too. I had notes and pictures in my phone, on my computer, and I can't tell you how many file folders. I had stuff on I still have stuff on my whiteboard, but that's a little bit different. I had my notebook, my spreadsheets. I had sticky notes. I still have a couple of sticky notes, but those are like, I've got to get this done tomorrow.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. So I had all over the place, all these things. I had to take a drink of milk.
You started writing so much on your whiteboard that you were writing on the wall. I had to take it away from you.
Did not. I
You
can see
could have.
that.
When your office, when you were in corporate, I remember going to your office one day to drop something off, and you had like an 8-foot whiteboard filled in that room. That scared me to death.
Oh, at work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole wall was a whiteboard.
I ran off that whiteboard. And then even with that whiteboard, we had project task applications.
Binders full of notes. Yep.
Binders full of notes. And that's super cool. So, Laura, I'm going to ask you, does anybody else have binders full of notes? I know I did. And I had them on. I just dripped some water on my
Nice
sweating.
job.
My milk is sweating. So I've had binders full of notes and notebooks. I've got a couple of notebooks down here, and they're empty now. I don't even use them. And spreadsheets and Word documents and just all over the place. Cassandra says she does. Sometimes I write down a note that has, sometimes I forget why I wrote. I did too. Or I write something and it's like, what the heck did that mean? Have no idea. I can't read my writing. So now what am I going to do? Cross it off. There's a check mark.
It took me 2 years to get into the groove to work with organization. I just have a blank book with a page per day. Works like a dream.
And I'm telling you, if you find something that's simple that works for you, use it. I've tried. We're talking about notes and keeping things organized. I tried several of the reptile apps where it keeps track of, hatch dates and lineage and this, and I don't use them because it's just too much. It doesn't work for me. So what I do is I still keep that information in a spreadsheet. Yes, I still use spreadsheets, but not for organization, not for notes. Like the chat, or I'll let my turtle take a finger off. What? I don't, and that would almost be organized. That's funny. So I'm gonna run over here, folks. I'm gonna show you something. I'm running, and I hope you can see this. I can't make it any bigger. I tried for a half hour, but it just can't. So this is an app that you can use on your phone, and it's an app that you can use on your desktop. It's a lot harder to use on your phone if you're creating information. If you're accessing your to-do list, I literally go into it and I scroll up to my to-do list and I have it in my facility ready to do and get things done. That's the one thing, I think if I know I'm chatting. I'm going to chat. I'm going to show them. But I tell you what, of anything that I feel like I have learned in life and I do pretty good, if I had one superpower, I would say that it's being organized and getting things done. And that comes from my previous career. It was a necessity. That was my job, to get things done and stay organized, and on my teams, get other people organized and stay on task and get things done. So
You do that well.
and it means a lot to me because, I have bigger things, goals and plans for Supreme Gecko and me personally. It's the only way I can function. So it's really important that I can stay on task and have something that manages tasks easily. So I'm going to show you this, guys. Sorry for this delay. 503 says her son made dinner.
Yeah, so did ours. He went to Culver's.
He went to Culver's. Tell me if you can read this. Tell me if you can read this, folks. I'm going to try as hard as I can to make this as simple as I can in the next probably 10 minutes or so. This is Notion. And this is what I built for myself. And I'm going to tell you real quick. You can get Notion out of the box. You can load up the app. You can do all kinds of things right from the box with Notion, just like any other organization app. You can start adding tasks and subtasks and things like that. But I built this whole thing for the sole purpose of keeping track of my week to week, my day to day, my week to week, and saving what I've done, and also creating notes. I shouldn't say notes, tasks that I know I'm not going to get done this week, but I'm going to get done. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I just showed that. There you go. Philippe says that he loves using Notion. And Philippe, I tell you what, if you see something that I'm doing that you think can be done different or better, let me know. 503 says, I just downloaded Notion. That is so cool. So I have this template. It's called Reptile Keepers. I'll talk maybe a minute or two on that in just a second.
That you created.
That I created specific for Reptile Keepers. I think my dashboard is probably overcomplicated for somebody to start off with. So let me talk about this. Can everybody see this? I hope everybody can see it. I'm trying to think if I can make this any bigger, and I probably can't. Okay, we're off screen, Nanette. This is so important.
Fine.
I want everybody to see this. So here's how I use this. I have a top section that is just kind of for me to keep quick information. This is more of a reference, and we're going to talk about to-do lists and schedules and things like that right now. And then I'm going to show you the huge power of this thing from a note standpoint. So I can go through and I can look at my 2023 goals. I can look at, here's something really important, is the YouTube interview schedule. This is where I keep track of who we've had on the show and who's coming up. I get short ideas to do YouTube shorts all the time. So I just go, I have it up on top here, so I can click in here and I can go right to, you like the shorts?
Oh,
I can go in here and I can start adding shorts.
I don't like the color.
You don't like the green color? I don't like the green
blue.
color either, but I like orange. I have my unassigned tasks to do. This is stuff that I know I'm not going to get to today or tomorrow or next week, but I don't want to lose track of it. This is the key thing. If you're keeping track, Frank has green pants. So if you don't want to lose something, that's what you want to use. 12 Supreme Days of Christmas, because it's coming up here. It's right at the top of my list. Completed tasks, just in case I want to go back to something that I completed last week or 2 weeks ago. And I have inquiries. Inquiries are, somebody asked, do you have this animal available? Now, it's not our wish list. It's more like right now, I've got to go downstairs and check and see if I have it and then create an order form and so on and so forth. Big goals. These are the super high level. I want to get this done in the next couple of months. One is Notion, and we're talking about it right now. And the other is product promotion. So we just added 15 new products to the page. So I just need to promote a little bit and get that done. This is important for this week. So more promoting Supreme Isopod Chow using YouTube Shorts. So I want to get that probably green shorts. Sure, absolutely. Here's what drives my week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, next week, and unassigned. God, I have too many unassigned. So those should go up to the other block. But I just have ideas. Yeah, I just have ideas, and I just start, throwing them in there. I was in gifted, but couldn't tie my shoes till I was 9. Okay, so today's Wednesday. This is how easy Notion is to work with. Try different CapCuts for new shorts. CapCut is a shorts editing software. So I'm done with that. So I click it, shows me that I'm done. This is my tomorrow. Promote Rothschild. Oh my gosh, you're right. So Wednesday I completed that other, and I already published today on Facebook to promote it a little bit. Check heat on picked. I know I did that earlier in the day. I got that done. Cryopack follow-up. So Nanette and I have to talk about that. Then Friday I have all these things. So let's say though, watch this guys. Let's say that I did not complete try different CapCut things. So I'm going to take that. It's as simple as this. I hold it down. I hold my left mouse key down. I drag it over here. Now it's for Thursday, right? So it doesn't matter if I have it on Wednesday or Friday. But let's say now I have a similar task. I come up here, I duplicate it. I unclick it, and I want to do that on Thursday too. I know I did something here, or I can come in here and I can say, try stuff CapCut, blah, blah, blah. So I can create something super easy. I can come down here and go to-do list. Now I have a completely new one. This is how easy this stuff is. I don't want it. I delete it. Again, you can load it up here. And so what I do is I don't worry too much if I have something that's unchecked for a Wednesday or a Thursday, and now I'm in Friday. I'll either move it out or I'll say, you know what? It's really not that as important as I really thought it was. I'm just going to work on that next week, and I'll throw it down into next week. Let me put that back up there. I actually did a subtask there. Did you see that? So I don't know if you can see that line. I can move it there, or I can move it as a subtask underneath this one. I tell you guys, oh my gosh. Okay, so Saturday we have some stuff. Sunday is the show. I should have had that first thing in there. And then next week we have a bunch of stuff to do. I don't really care about next week right now. I know that I want to get this stuff done next week, but come Saturday or Sunday, it really doesn't matter. Hopefully Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday is pretty cleaned up. I can come in here and I can start moving this stuff. Let me just grab it, and I'll come back up to Monday. Now we're kind of theoretically, even though it's Saturday or Sunday, now I'm kind of thinking in the mindset of next week. I can put it over to Monday, or I can put it to Tuesday. I can put it wherever I want. I'm just going to do a Control-Z to put it right back where it was. Like I said, I have all these unassigned to-dos. These are, it doesn't have to be today. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. It doesn't have to be next week, but I don't want to lose this stuff. Now, if some of these things are just so far out there, I can just send it right up to clean that list, which I should do right now, to the unassigned tasks and to-dos, which is just loaded with stuff. You can see how many ideas I have to try to catch up on. Let me go back. And actually, I'm going to close that out. So maybe this is a little bit bigger to see. So you can kind of see what I'm doing here, hopefully. Anybody have any questions? J-Bug, I tell you what, if you're a member of the Buy Me a Coffee and you're interested in this, let's set up a consultation so I can kind of walk you through. I did one for Dylan. I did one for somebody else, and my mind is drawing a blank. But, this is something
you should put it in your notes.
Maybe I should have put it in my notes. Yes, Nanette. I should have absolutely done that. I want to show you one more thing that's super important. Let me get back my taskbar over here. You can see how easily I can hide that, but I have all kinds of stuff. I have AI tools. I have big project ideas. I'm not going to really go through some of this because it's kind of pie in the sky ideas sitting out there for me, but I do want to show you this. So here's my notes, and there are tons of notes out here. So I want to show you something super easy. So let's say I didn't have this movie thing here. Okay, pretend that that's not there. Can everybody pretend? So I'm going to do this. I'm going to create a new page. It creates that page. Now this is a completely new block, and let's just call it, I'm going to call it 2 just for the sake of not duplicating something. And I can come in here and I can go, I like these to-do lists. And I can give me a movie, The Big Lebowski, Star Wars. So these are sure for the 463rd time. So
come on.
These are movies like I don't want to lose. Somebody mentioned, hey, you need to watch this movie. So, I don't want to lose these ideas. So I create this note out here. And as we watch them, and I go out and say, I can't click this 463 times, Nanette, but we'll just say that we watched it. Now I can go back to my previous screen, and there's our movies too. Or you can come down here and do something as simple as set up IRA. Whoops, I did that completely wrong. Let me do that over again. I can do something like set up IRA, or I can do something like to do and select my to-do list and set up IRA. It's really that easy. And here's another thing you can do. I'm going to show you real quick my animal care sheets. So here's how I have my notes organized. I'm not going to get into a ton of details here, but you can kind of see, you can, customize your banner. You can customize this little icon here, but we're going to go into, and I've done it for geckos, obviously. We're going to go into geckos. And now I'm kind of getting into Periodora picta and Bavaye, and all. You can see you can add pictures. And if you can't really see that, folks, let me show you. So you can drag and drop and make it bigger and smaller, and you can put columns in here. Let's go to, I don't know, cat geckos. So I have a note about cat geckos. Simple note. Let's go to Periodora picta. I've created pages in here. So I've taken this either from one of my videos or somebody else's just as notes about Periodora picta incubation. Morph comments. So we've got some people. I give somebody credit if I've kind of stolen their idea or their information off of another post, and then I create this, and I can actually put in a link here. Hopefully, now it's not going to show us, but it literally brought me up to a page on Facebook. I don't know if that showed up in the live stream, but you can put links in here. You can go right over. You can do links in your favorites on, your browser, but this organizes, I think, in a better way. Let me go out of here. What can we go into? Europlatus. So I've got some notes from different people on specifics about that animal. You could this is endless, folks. You could do just so much with it. I hope that's making sense. I'm going to go back. I'm going to minimize my screen there, and I'm going to go back to, actually, I'm going to maximize this, sorry. And I'm going to go back to my weekly agenda.
I got dessert.
Oh, that sounds good. And again, this drives everything that I do, throughout the week. And like I said, if I get to the end of the week, it's Sunday, and I haven't done some things, I don't, I have to make up in my mind, is it really that important that I should have done it, or can it go until next week? Is it that big of a deal? I don't really stress out about not getting things done. I guess I more celebrate the wins and don't worry too much about, I don't even want to say failures. I don't stress out about the things that I don't accomplish, because when I'm looking at this, I can see the things that are super important. If we get into next week and I look at this, I'm going to make this bigger again. If I get into next week and I say, oh my gosh, the setup Amazon store, this is super important. So I just move it right to the top. That easy. I want to talk about the reptile, and I'm going to read some comments in just a second. Nanette, if you see something that we need to post.
I was watching. They were just saying hi to each other.
Okay. Here's Reptile Keeper. It's basically the same thing, template. The cool thing about Notion is, I almost forgot to say this. The cool thing about Notion is you can find videos all over the place on this. You can download templates. Now, some of them might not fit your needs. As a reptile keeper, I think this is something that might fit your needs. I'm hoping. But I have my schedule in here. Same thing, unassigned to-dos, some notes that you can put in. And then I have things like an animal list, an animal pairing, animal egg laying. Let's go into animal lists. It's basically you put in the animals. So here's a good example. I have an ID, and we keep everything by ID. So CR01 is the ID of one of our crested geckos, and this is just generic information. JBug, it is. I do it two different ways. I have it as an app on my phone so that I can look at tasks, to-dos, and then I have it on my desktop so that I can actually work on it. And I think that that's super important. That's how it works for me. So this template has, like I said, you can go through an egg laying schedule. Let me go ahead and open this up into more of a record view and put information about your animals in here. Let me go back out. Oops. We got to go back one more. There we go. So hatching information, an animal wish list. These are animals that are on my list. You could put in animals that are on your list. Like if you saw a certain, oh my gosh, Wally is breeding Bavaye. So I want to make sure that I know that Wally's breeding Bavaye so that in 6 months I can go back to Wally and say, hey, did you raise any up? I have animal goals. This is kind of interesting, folks. So every year we set our goals for all of our animals. How many babies we're anticipating, kind of price, average price, and eventually, how much we anticipate with the total down here of making. Again, this is just template information. It's just basic general information. I have a contact list in here. You can put in Wally Kern's phone number and have it handy.
You don't answer the phone.
I don't answer the phone. Supply list. I put in our preferred vendors list in here. You can add in your own so that when you're out of deli cups in 6 months to a year, you can find the vendor that you bought them from.
Supreme Gecko.
And then you have an income and expense report. There's a ton there, folks. There really is. And I'm going to say again, you can jump on Notion right now and you can start playing with it and you can start learning it. It took me, I would say and hi Moon, I would say it took me probably a good month and a half or so to really, really understand Notion and how to use it to the detail that I wanted to know it. And I've just refined it over the last year or so. And over the last probably 4 months, I've created the template and I've refined it so that now you can use a link, grab the template. You can load Notion, obviously, load Notion onto your phone or desktop or both. And then use the link, download this template if you want, and start using it right away. Loving it.
Add on their
Loving
Saturday haircut.
I shall do that. I wonder if I can do this real quick. Okay, so I'm going to go out of there. I'm going to go to my weekly. I'm going to go into Saturday. And I'm going to go /to-do. And I'm going to say haircut. And there we go. Good to go. And I'm going to move it because you're going to tell me to move it if I don't move it right to the top of the list. There we go. We're all set for a haircut Saturday. And then it just as easily I can go through there and delete it out because I don't want to go Saturday.
You're getting a haircut Saturday.
I am.
Yes.
Guys, if you have anybody watching this live stream, if you have questions about this, let me know. I'll gladly help you go through this. This is, I think, pretty key for what we do here. I don't want to oversell it, but I don't want to undersell it as well. This has really been super beneficial to me and to what we're doing at Supreme Gecko. Even if you're just keeping records of your reptiles or keeping notes, I think this is a really, really good tool. There's easier tools around. If you want to do notes, there's easier tools around if you just want to do a straight task list. But this is everything. And I tell you what, it is super hot right now. The number of downloads, the people using it is just crazy. Yeah. The only issue is out of sight, out of mind. That's my biggest issue. Yes. So that's why, J-Bug, that's why the very first thing I do is I come in here and I start answering messages in the morning. I go online for a little tiny bit and I start answering messages if I can, Facebook and email. And then I'll go into this and I'll just kind of catch myself up on what do I have? What's wrong?
Nothing. I just thought of something I forgot to do.
Ruh-roh. So I'll catch myself up in the morning and then I'll go down to the facility. I'll do something else. We'll go shopping. You can put your shopping list right here. And I swear, this is what I do. I go down to the facility and it's like, okay, Notion's up. And I go like this a couple of times and I'm right to my today's Thursday's to-do list. And I've got it sitting right in front of me. So it's a discipline. You have to be to the point where you really want this to be a part of your life so that you can, work on it when you need to. I know it's hard. But and I know it's easier for some people than others. It's easy for me because I'm driven off of task lists and things to do. So that's what I do in the morning. I might add, I might change, I might move over everything from Thursday to Friday because I didn't get it done Thursday. Again, don't sweat the small stuff. And then again, I'll sit down usually on a Sunday night and I'll say, okay, what didn't I get done? I've got to move it into next week. And what's in my next week column that I want to now work on either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday? Does that make sense to everybody? I hope so. Big time tool. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want the template, if you want to try this, download it, take a look at it. What I would strongly suggest is, and I'm going to push out the videos tomorrow. I'm probably going to push out the 2 or 3 videos, the introduction, how to install it, and how to install the template, and probably the scheduler video. I did, I think, 7 videos, kind of walking, and each one is like 3 to 5 to 7 minutes. I think the longest is 7 minutes. And I'll start pushing those videos out tomorrow on my YouTube channel. Again, any questions? I would love for people to use this if you can, if you find the need. And more importantly, I would love for people to use this and be successful and have this help them with their lives. Yeah. Did I miss anything?
No.
I'm sure I missed comments back here while I was blabbing
No,
away.
They were talking about their families
Okay.
and different things. And so you're good, I think.
Okay.
There's a couple of them now that, it's an amazing app. I'll probably have fun with it. Good point, Laura. I can put a post-it note up reminding me to access the app. Send yourself a text. I just did that to remind me of what I didn't do.
Here's a sticky note. I'll write it down for you, and I'll post it on my computer.
You missed the.
Nom, 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 nom.
What are you doing?
Is that good? I can't remember what that is. Something sensory. So when I see ASMR, what does everybody think of when they see ASMR?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, Frank. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Oh, Frank, seriously?
I sound like Homer Simpson.
That's not a good thing.
French fries. That's right. It has to be into the mic. It has to be just like I've got my garter. French fries.
You are weird.